Colleen Lloyd-Roberts, the co-founder of Monkeys and Hats, digital marketing and e-commerce website, and my coffee buddy with me every Tuesday morning is the lovely, fabulous Kate Holmes.
Thank you, Colleen. I'm tickled to be here as always. I am obviously Kate Holmes. I am the author of Too Good to Be Through, the complete operations manual for resale and consignment shops. And I operate tgtbt.com, the premier site for resale professionals. It's a lot to say early in the morning. Well, we're going to talk today about something that is near and dear to all of our hearts, especially Colleen's and mine, and that is our involvement with the National Association, the Association of Resale Professionals, formerly known as the National Association of Resale and Thrift Shops, commonly known as Narts. So, Colleen, I'm really curious because I met you through Narts. I didn't know you before I met you at a Narts event. And I'm really curious to know how you came about learning about Narts, how you got involved in Narts.
Yeah, so it's a really funny story. And we had built a mobile app for a local business here. It was actually a realtor. And she had told Julia Austin, who at the time owned Fifi's, told Julia Austin about us, and we built a mobile app for Julia Austin of Fifi's consignment store here in Lake Norman. And then Julia told Jessica Miller, who owned a Fifi's in Amelia Island. And then Jessica went to Narts conference that year and was on the bus tour and stood up on the bus tour and was like showing everyone her mobile app and how much she loved it and how she was using it. And then literally I started getting there was a referral at the time. Jessica had a referral button on her app. So we started getting all these people going, "Hi, I'm interested in learning more about an app, da 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 da." And then there started to be a lot of conversation on the Narts group about mobile apps. And then I get a phone call from Adele. And Adele said, "Hey, we'd love to invite you to become part of our organization. And here's what we're about." And I said, "I'd love to." And then I attended conference. And it was my first conference. And I didn't speak or anything. I just attended as a vendor. And I was just shocked because we've done other vendor events and national conferences with other organizations, but how incredibly friendly and welcoming all of the store owners were. Just overwhelming. Nobody, I didn't feel like a vendor. I didn't, everyone just welcomed me in, and that was really amazing. And then after that, I was invited to speak the following years, and our business has really grown. We love the consignment industry. We love the business owners, and that's how I got started with Narts.
What year was that, Colleen?
Gosh, I think that was so my very first conference that I attended was in Scottsdale, Arizona, and I didn't speak or anything. And in fact, I remember I just thought normally at conferences we have a booth and we just sort of chat to people and then do lots of follow-up. And Neil came up to me it was during the lunchtime or before lunchtime one day, and Neil's like, "I hope you're really prepared. You're going to be really, really busy." And I'm like, "I am." And he's like, "Oh yeah, you're going to be really busy." And so thanks to Neil, I went into the concierge and got a whole bunch of forms photocopied and some staplers and everything. And I am forever grateful to Neil for that, because very thankfully we were extremely busy. And yes, so that was really, really fabulous. So that my first conference was Scottsdale, Arizona. And then after that is when I started speaking.
One of the things that I've noticed over the years with NARS is that every year at every conference, some spouse, usually a husband, comes up to me and says, "This is incredible. I go to conferences, conventions, meetings, seminars with all sorts of industries, from realtors to plumbers to whatever, and everybody is, in their own little group, and they don't want to share anything, and they feel like they have the secret to success and they're not going to tell anybody." And that is the exact opposite of what happens in our group. I've been involved with NARTS since 86, 87, long time ago, since before the first conference. And actually, I got involved in conference because Trudy Miller and Renee Richards, who were the founders of NARTS, invited both Adele and I to come to conference number one, excuse me, in Chicago. And so we got involved. Adele and I are both, as you probably know, kind of hands-on people. So we got involved in that. And the very, very first conference we had, we expected 50, 60, maybe 70. So we knew that the
Oh
show.
no. Okay, you're cutting out a little bit, Kate, but luckily I've been a pretty good lip reader, so I got most of what you said. Um, but I think you're good. I think you'll be okay. I think you're good. Okay, go
Isn't it funny
on.
when you say you're cutting out, I cut out, and vice versa.
I
Anyway,
know.
we used to do a slideshow. Everybody would contribute slides, and we'd make an actual slideshow with a projector and so on of everybody's shops, and everybody was so proud to show off their stores. And I think that's what I have learned from NARTS over these decades, is that there is so much creativity, so much variety in how we run our stores. Excuse me. How we run our stores, how we decide our policies, what we carry, how we interact with our clientele. That's what's so exciting to me. It's that it helps me avoid that tunnel vision that is so prevalent when you're a sole entrepreneur in a one location where you don't see what's going on around you, you don't see what your neighbors are doing, you don't see what your industry peers are doing. So that's why NARTS is so near and dear to my heart.
And if you're watching, I know we have quite a few Narts members watching. We have a lot of people in our group, Kate, who are not Narts members. And so, if you're watching, if you want to share anything about Narts or share something, in all the years, of watching, let us know how many years you've been going to Narts conference for starters. That will be fun. And good morning to Cindy, Patty, Jana, Laurel, Jody, Tiffany, Ann, and Anita. Good morning, everybody. How long have you all been going to NARTS? Let us know. Type in your conferences, and if you have any notes to share. So Kate, what is, and thanks for sharing that. I always wanted to know what the very first NARTS was, where it was and what it was. And so tell me, good morning, Anita. So what are some things that you have taken away or that you see people taking away from NARTS and going and making a difference in their business?
Well, the biggest thing I think that people take away, I see them with their notebooks and their handouts and their phones, taking notes about various things. And quite often they'll have, 2 or 3 things that they want to go back to their business and try out or adapt to the way they do business. But I think the biggest thing that people take away and that keeps them going until the next conference is the enthusiasm, is the realization that they are appreciated. That they are doing a good thing. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing to know that you can do great business while you're doing good business. While we're saving things from the landfill, while we're extending the useful life of material goods. We all started in this business, I think, with at least a little bit of eco-consciousness. We've ended up with a lot more eco-consciousness, and we're all very, very proud of the fact that we can make money and make good things happen at the same time. We're not pulling away from the health of the earth, but we're adding to it. And that, I think, is so wonderful. The second thing I want to get in here real quick, because I know you and I both have to run, is the variety of goals that we all have in our businesses. Some of us want to have a mini chain. Some of us want to have just one store that we can hand down to a family member. Some of us want more time with our families. Some of us want less time with our families. But the whole point is that because we are entrepreneurs, we can choose that goal and we can work towards that goal with the help of the various viewpoints and the various creativity that we find amongst our members. And our friendships continue way past conference.
Absolutely, they do. And I think one of the great things about being a Narts member is that Facebook group that you get to be a part of, because you go to Narts, you meet everyone face to face. But there's also, when you come together, there's like this energy and this enthusiasm that happens. And then when you leave the Narts conference, you go to this Facebook group and you can still interact. And now the faces, and then, you know, you've got a face to go with all the names in the group. And so here's just a few stats from our early morning watchers. Jody said last year was her first Narts conference and she loved it. Tiffany Perry, 4 years and love it so much. Patty Murphy said 2 years. She's selling her business and moving across country, but she has loved the Narts conference. Ann Condit has been going for 3 years, and she's been in business for 24 years and says that she waited way too long. Jana she said her first meeting was in Dallas. We've made lifelong friends that have helped your business immensely. Wouldn't miss a conference. And Anita has been a member since 2000 and went to many conferences. They're priceless, made many friends, learned so much. So, yeah, I think it's just such an awesome way to be have those connections with people in your industry, because sometimes the local business owners that have other consignment stores are not quite as full of camaraderie. Some are, but some aren't. And so you have this like really amazing group and extended family, and you can figure things out or look at how somebody's doing their displays or how someone's doing their employee handbooks or things. Glenda, this is her 16th conference. I've made amazing friends and learned so much. So I am not reading everybody's full comments here, just what shows up in the initial feed. So yes, conference has been amazing, and I personally want to thank you as a vendor for welcoming me into your world. I know I always will feel a little bit, I always still feel a little bit on the outside, not being a store owner, but I know that when I say that, there's always people that correct me on that and say, no, you're part of the family, you're one of the family. So, on behalf of all the vendors, thank you for welcoming us into your world. You're really just an amazing, my favorite industry, hands down, of all the industries we work with. So that's been amazing. Any final thoughts?
Well, I'm looking forward to meeting some people in person that I've met on Colleen's board, on the Narts board, and of course on my board as well, in person, and putting some faces to the names, because I know the names very well, but it'd be great to be able to see somebody in person. I'm looking forward to it. We'll be together in about 30 days or so. If you're not a member of Narts, I highly suggest that you be one. It is more than a great return on your investment financially. It is also a great return on your emotional investment. And as I said, we tend to sometimes stay in our own little boxes and forget there's a big world out there with a lot of people who want to help you, who wish you well, who will go out of their way to give you information, to share their resources with you. So if you are not a member of Narts, please become one, and please come to conference, and please come to the Thursday night 6 p.m. Meetup in the hotel bar before conference really starts. I'm sure Colleen and Richard will be there. I'll be there, and some of the most active, most wonderful people in the entire industry will be there. See you then.
Absolutely. See everyone at conference. And I just have to say one more thing, and then we got to go. Is that every single person I have done a store visit to, where they, bring me out to their stores, every single person I've stayed in their home, which has been amazing. Like, where else does that happen? I've stayed in their home with them and built these amazing relationships. So, I mean, really, best industry ever. Hope to see you at conference. Until then, we will see you next week at the same time right here for another edition of Coffee with Colleen and Kate. And Kate, what's your final closing?
Drink up that caffeine and get out on that sales floor and sell something.
Bye.
Bye now.